Yo, what is up? You got Carter, you got Crawford,
Hello.
you got Lisa.
Lisa.
I'm really excited for this one. Welcome.
Say hello. Hello.
Hello.
There we
Hi,
go.
there she
Hi,
is.
We didn't have a guest. It was almost like David Amon last week. We're like, we got a guest, and he didn't say anything. We're like, guest. Hello.
So this show is about helping artists get paid on their art and helping artists convert on their opportunities and their skills. And what's really cool about Lisa is she has something that I've actually never seen before I was showed her program. And it's not only highly creative, but it's actually taking off and converting into cash flow for her, which is really, really cool. So just to give you a bit of a background, this is on our website, lalawellness.ca. So it says, hello and la to you. I'm not going to read the whole thing all the way. Don't worry. So, my name is Lisa. I'm the founder of Lala Wellness, yoga and mindfulness programs for children and educators. I think this is really cool. So she's registered children's yoga teacher, continuing education provider with certifications from Rainbow Kids Yoga in my school. And she grew up with a mom in the early years community who is building it out. And that's kind of like where you come from.
Yeah.
Are you like, forgetting the yoga thing for a side, are you like artsy person?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Okay,
Artsy.
cool.
Artsy.
Welcome,
Yeah, I went
welcome.
to an arts high school actually for
Okay.
dance.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're
right
a
on.
dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Did that kind of inspire the idea for the yogi wellness for kids kind of?
I think it gave me the foundation for it, for sure.
Okay.
Part of the reason that I got into yoga was because I thought that once I aged out of competition, I couldn't dance anymore.
Okay.
And so I stopped dancing, but needed a movement practice. Didn't realize that till a little bit later, but that's where yoga came in.
You needed a
Ah.
movement practice. Your body was telling you, hey, bro, I want to move
I
around.
want to keep
kind of
moving.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep
100%.
moving constantly. That's
Sweet.
the one thing I've learned kind of with rehab as well. You got to keep moving.
And why
Never stop.
children? Like, I'm so
Yeah,
curious.
the
like,
kids.
why?
When they said it was a children's yoga, I was like, get out of here.
So,
What is
so
that?
it's
What? Yeah, well, I was like, children
Yeah.
doing yoga.
It's yoga from 0 to 6, right?
0 to
Yeah,
6.
infant to 6.
Okay, why? Like, I'm really curious.
Okay, well, I'll give
Obviously,
you
it's an underappreciated market. You know.
100%. Don't get me started on that right away, though.
We'll work our way into that.
Your
We'll
whole
work our way-
hour's gone right there, bud.
I because my mom owns a childcare center and she has my whole life. I grew up in it, as you mentioned, and so I told myself I would never work with children. I was like, that's not me.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go in a different direction.
So you were gonna
completely.
rebel, and
You were
now
gonna-
you're like,
I want nothing to do with kids.
And now it's my whole
it's my life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Without kids,
Cool.
I
Yeah.
don't get paid.
Well, this is true. Yep. And their parents and the schools.
That's true. You're not hitting up. Come on, Tommy. You look 6. Give me the
Right?
lemonade money,
listen,
man.
I need you to go to this restaurant and be a dishwasher for the next.
No, not endorsing.
Not at-
that
no,
at
no,
this
no, never.
point.
But
No,
still,
but-
why kids?
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit earlier before the show about my challenges with mental health.
Right. Mhm.
And I guess to make a long story short, I needed a self-awareness practice when I was younger. If I had a self-awareness practice when I was younger, I would have known more about myself and my body and what I need to feel good.
Can help you moving forward to
Yeah,
feeling
but I
better.
didn't
And
have it.
Is that kind
Yeah.
of what dance became for you, or?
So it's what dance was, but I didn't know it. There's
Okay.
this
like an
lack
outlet
of
that you had no
awareness.
idea
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, I knew I loved it. I knew I loved the competition. I knew that it was something that I thought I couldn't live without at the time, but I wasn't aware of how important it was in terms of never stopping.
Cool.
So
Ah.
this practice, I needed it when I was younger, and so that's what inspired me
To wanna
creating
work,
the program.
yeah, with
so
the
that-
other younger people.
Yeah, and I want to plant the seeds so early because kids are getting stressed younger and younger and younger and younger.
Which baffles me. Because it
Yeah.
was like when I had no idea what stress was
What
when I was a
could-
child. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
if Barney's not on, that might be like, but that, I
yeah.
don't understand that that's stress. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
no, they're,
do you have any ideas why? Are you? Yeah.
going into that?
So, like, we live an overscheduled life in general. Our society does, anyways. And so, parents being overscheduled equals children being overscheduled.
Yeah.
And over time, as they get older, they can start to do, like, participate in sports and participate in different classes outside of school. And so it's all with good intentions, all of these extracurricular activities.
From the parents' point and, like, the children's point,
Totally.
they're always trying to do the better.
Right.
But
there's this, like, fine line between, or I guess not between, but the good intention, I guess, going wrong because it causes stress.
Yeah, it causes too much stress where you overfill your schedule, essentially.
Is it like we're asking ourselves and our children to do too much in general, or is it this whole jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing? Like, is it that? Is it just demands on you that you have too much that you're dealing with even as a 6-year-old and you can't handle it? Like, what do you...
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. So we impose our expectations on children in a way that doesn't serve them. It doesn't serve their well-being. And so when sometimes, here, I'll start at the beginning. When I first started working with children, I thought I was going to be like the child whisperer. Everyone was going to love me for being in their class because I was going to get their kids to, like, sit and be quiet and calm down. And I learned really, really quickly that that's not going to work.
That's not how children
That's
at
not
that
how
age
they
work.
operate.
Yes.
But I think that a lot of adults had the same perspective that I do, that they should be able to do that. And it's not developmentally appropriate. So the expectations from such a young age are so high, and they just keep getting higher.
Kids that young shouldn't be they should be about expressing energy and being all that way. Our family's actually very good friends with an individual who owns a daycare service out of her home. She's a phenomenal woman. She's actually my daycare provider when I was younger.
Amazing.
And seeing, that's all she interacts with all day is kids that are just, between, 0 and 6. Now there's some kids that are older than that, but those kids are just energy all the time, and they always just want to do stuff, and so they always have to take them and go do things. But there's also, like you said, like limitations to, we've done all these things, but these kids are worn out, and they need to have nap days and just hangout days where they just relax and do those physical activities that keep their bodies moving, but their minds kind of resting, not overexerting.
Yeah. I feel like you had a question.
No, I was gonna turn that into a question. So along the same lines, is that what you're trying to do with the body wellness, with this, like, yoga wellness, making sure that these kids, hey man, if I can't beat them, join them. Like, if they're gonna be moving around, let's get them moving around. Is that what you're trying to?
Yeah. One of the main, like, laws in Rainbow Kids Yoga, which is the organization that I did my first training with, is you have to be the queen of your jungle or the king of your jungle. Like,
assert your dominance. Maybe not.
Yes.
Not that way.
Not in that way. Not in that
beat your hands on your chest. Be like, look, kids, this is my yard.
No, Johnny, you 6-year-old little.
No, not in that way. Obviously,
kick you out of the way.
You saw it that way.
Phrase it wrong. That's one thing I do often.
Amazing.
I phrase my mindsets in the wrong.
How do we actually be the king of the jungle now that we've guessed?
How do we be the queen of the jungle?
Like, so if we're doing something like lion's breath.
Okay.
Which is like your eyes are open and your mouth is open and your tongue is sticking out of your mouth, and it's really ridiculous. And then when you breathe out, it's just
I don't know that I want to do this one, man.
And so when the kids are being lions, my lion has to be louder and longer than theirs so that I still maintain their attention.
Yeah, dominance. No, but
because
they remain, they remain interested because you keep doing it, and they want to continue to keep doing it along with you.
Right, and and if I keep that engagement, then I'm able to transition to the next thing so that they're re-engaged.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
because they keep wanting to do it because you keep doing it.
Yeah, when you show up excited, they're excited. When you show up and you are, like, being full of life, they're gonna give the same thing to you.
Even if they're having a bad day, you can translate. Not even translate. You just bring that energy to them and kind of give them that energy.
Yeah, that's another thing too in my classes. I never want the kids to feel like they have to do it. So if they aren't having a good day, and you can see it on their face or you can see it in their body language,
you can go. You can rest and.
I'll make sure that I address them and I acknowledge them, and let them know it's okay to be feeling whatever they're feeling, and that they can join us whenever they're ready. Like that language.
Watch how much fun we're having, and then come be part of it, when you're ready to when you're comfortable.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, those kids will come to the yoga circle pretty quickly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Because that also social factor too. You don't want to be the one that's just not engaging with everyone.
Yeah.
You're not having fun with everyone else. You're like, well, I want to have fun. Let's do it.
That links back to your question about stress. Like that's social anxiety is part of their stress and entering play. And anyways, I could go down a rabbit hole there, but
well, this whole show is about getting you to elaborate so that people have an understanding of what you do, right? So feel free if you want a rabbit hole. Listen.
At the end of it, we can have a rabbit hole colony, and totally everything's connected.
So I have a question that I'm really excited to it's like 2 or 3 step question, but I'm going to go through it in phases.
Okay.
Phase 1.
Okay. You do movement stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're like talking earlier off air. You're like stories, right? So I understand that you see the value. Mm-hmm. What is a movement story?
Yeah. So, did you ever read Brown Bear as a kid?
Wait, hold on. I don't know.
I read the 3 Little Bears. It wasn't the Brown Bear.
Sure, we'll take that. The 3 Little Bears. So
okay.
you go through a story, and when you're a child, it typically looks like the adult is reading the story to you, and you're sitting and you're listening. But with a movement story, we take what's happening off of the page and we express it with our bodies.
Sweet.
Oh,
yeah.
Are you guys creating the stories yourselves? Are they new stories, or these are stories you've heard for forever and ever?
It's a combination of both. So typically with younger children, we'll start with those stories that they already know because we're the outsider. Like they don't trust us yet. But
you got to gain their trust with stories.
Yeah, but if we bring in something that they love, then we
I love this.
Familiarity.
Yeah. Exactly.
I know Tony the Tiger. He's on my cornflakes.
Yeah.
Got you.
As they get older, we can progress into our own movement stories. So we'll take them on yoga adventures, and we write those. So
cool.
We'll get an interest area like the jungle, for example.
Everyone loves the jungle.
Right? I mentioned the jungle before. I guess that's our theme for today.
We're in a green room.
Yeah.
Maybe that could so be, it's...
So everything that we can think of in the jungle, we put it in a list, and then we put it together in a story, and it all just comes.
So you're writing it with them?
Sometimes. With older children, school-age children, you can co-create. With the age group that I serve, the infant to 6, they need that structure and they need that that person to tell the story.
So I wanted to ask you about that. That was the second phase, is how are you creating the stories? And then as a follow-up to that, you mentioned like 3 times before we even got on air, you were like talking about how when you plant the seed, right? I just heard you say that, like you plant the seed. Oh man, just keep saying it, Crawford. Like sooner or later you will be on CBC Radio. Check us out, CBC Radio. We're awesome. Yeah. I swear we should be on there. Anyways. So I want to ask, when you're writing these stories, do you have a pre-designed, this is the seed that I want to plant? She's nodding in case everybody can't see.
Right, this is radio. You can't see.
You can't see me.
Yeah,
I actually had my blind eye turned. I was looking at him and I couldn't even see. Gee, I got focus.
So what seeds are you planting, and how do you weave that into a story to get these kids to like get it?
Yeah, cool. Okay, so step 1 is you have to know what the children are interested in.
Cool.
So that's the starting point.
Do you ever do like a brainstorming session with a new group of kids to talk like what they're about?
That kind of looks like walking into their environment and just seeing what's happening.
Okay.
They may not be able to express.
Yeah, they just live it every day.
Exactly.
They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they just do it.
So you watch what their dramatic play is about. You watch what toys they're playing with. What pictures are up around the room because their teachers know their interests, and so they create these spaces
pertain to them that would be unique.
So those are my cues, along with the kids. If the kids are able to tell me that they have an interest, then it makes it so much easier for me because I don't have to figure it out. But they're top of mind every single time. Like what their interest is where we start.
That's what we're after, is to hit them each demographically unique to them, to get them to trust you.
Yeah.
To then be able to come and not welcome you into their circle almost. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to get them all your circle. They have to let you into theirs. So then you take over them.
Definitely. So the seed that's being planted when I take that interest area and infuse it into a movement story is those kids have now been acknowledged, and what they like has been acknowledged.
Yeah, they feel worth and they feel like, recognized. Like you said, acknowledged is a perfect word there.
Totally.
I love being acknowledged. You know, like you guys tell me the
nice,
CBC
right?
thing. You made me feel real good. I got real blushy cheeks. Oh, jeez. But the acknowledgement. Thank CFRE. Acknowledge CFRE for giving us the opportunity. Sound Drive, acknowledge them for giving us the opportunity. It's just like the acknowledgement makes us all feel so good. So
Definitely.
the kids, you just tooting their horn to make them just feel king of the world.
And that could also, like, if you're not really getting that kind of acknowledgement in the rest of your life, I can imagine that making a huge difference in somebody's life.
Yeah.
That would be,
For sure.
Must be self-fulfilling.
Definitely.
Oh, no.
No.
No, you don't have to feel sorry. It's all good.
Okay.
I'm going to just go to a song break. I don't know.
We got to go to
You
it.
look
We
so
gotta go to it.
scared.
We have time.
Yeah,
We
I
have
cut you
time.
off,
We
and
have time
I wanted to let it
constrictions
linger because you looked like actually
Okay.
terrified I was messing with you a little bit. So we're going to a song break. We're here with La La Lisa. It's been a sweet conversation so far. It's going to continue to be one. We have As We Enter by Damian Marley and Nas coming up, and we have Crab Bucket by Chaos. Thank you very much, DriveWire Radio, CFRE. Alrighty then.
Hey, 10, 9, 2, 1, you're live. Hey,
Yeah,
welcome
10 seconds
back.
to go.
DriveWire
6 seconds to
Radio.
go. Oh, hey, 5
C.
seconds, 2 seconds, 1. You're live. Hey.
FRE.
Yo, what's going on? You got Cardi, you got Crawford, you got La Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah, you knew I was going with it like that. Hey, yo. So, hey, you missed a good
David Chuck
conversation. You
style.
guys
David
should be
Chuck
here
style.
during the breaks. I don't know why we're putting music on. We had good conversations
guys in
during the
during
break.
the
You guys
break.
missed
Live
that.
stream it,
It is what it is. Oh, live stream it. Just saying, we should get on that.
Write it down.
Check it out between the show.
Put
Yeah,
it in the book.
Put it in the book.
Put it in the book.
Ideas to rule the universe. Live stream between breaks. People want to see it.
Never know.
Radio is not just our little segments. It's all the time.
I love you, man. You're awesome.
I never shut up. I just try and keep that ball rolling. You got to keep that ball rolling.
No worries,
ball of
man.
ideas is
Ball
what I
of
like
ideas.
to call it.
I want to know, before it was official, did you get like people saying this? Like, are you sure you want to do, like, how did you deal with
You're
the
gonna have haters.
naysayers?
You're gonna have
Yeah.
haters.
How did that happen for
For
you?
sure. Well, I also picked an industry that people don't even know about. Like
I didn't.
I didn't know
straight
it
up,
existed.
they were
Yeah,
like,
hand up. Didn't know it
yoga for
existed.
kids 0 to 6. I was like,
I didn't know
really?
kids did yoga. I
That's
didn't.
the general consensus. So
But I like it though.
Yeah, it's
thank
yeah.
I
you.
do, like,
and
I
lots
was-
of people do, which is why things have gone as well as they have. But I didn't get a lot of pushback. My family is very entrepreneurial too. So my mom owns her childcare center. My grandfather owned businesses. My dad is super hands-on, and so we've always just been making
Just been at it and
things.
do it.
Yeah.
Do it attitude.
Totally. And one theme in my life, in my family's life, is you want to do something. If it makes you happy, you do it.
Do it.
Yeah. So I didn't have pushback from my inner circle. For the outside world, I mean, I just didn't listen. I don't even remember.
Yeah, don't. I say just took out everything, hated, just excluded everyone that didn't have positive things to say.
Yeah. They weren't my people. That's what I kept
They're not
saying.
your people.
Yeah. So I'm looking for my people. My people are looking
They're-
for me.
Yeah, so support me and want to be a part of the growth that we're going to create with each other, essentially.
Definitely, and they'll come on board. I think one of the things about what I do is you have to see it to believe it. If you don't already believe it,
I'm still on. Yeah, I'm on board to. I don't want to watch children, but I want to.
Come play,
it's like
come take a
I'll come
class.
take a children's yoga class.
Hold on.
Like, who's this
Is that an
25-year-old
official,
child?
Like,
you know?
can DriveWire show up and do a yoga class?
100%.
Let's do it. Let's arrange that, Dom, Fran.
man.
Put it in the book.
Put
Get
it in the
in.
book.
I want to
Okay,
do that.
okay,
I'm
put it in the
serious.
book this
That would be a
time.
lot of fun.
I honestly think adults would benefit so greatly from.
Well, I
children's
personally
yoga
know I would
practices.
as well, because my body has been through hell and back,
Yeah.
and
Right.
the
Yeah.
bending and just being able to the flexibility
Yeah.
is key to living a longer life. You know?
Right, and with kids yoga looks similar to adult yoga, but it has its many differences. And one of the differences is that there's no pressure and there's no comparison, and there's none of that. So
It's just you being you and having fun and bending in fun, creative ways that make your body feel
singing
great.
and dancing
and singing on top
all
of
that
it.
kind of stuff. So it's
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm gonna have a great time. High 4. You know,
There
pick
we
up
go.
your
There we
T-shirt.
go.
Pick up your T-shirt. DriveWire.
We have, in honor of Crawford and his many bodily issues after the crash, to raise kind of awareness and maybe raise some funds as well for DriveWire, we created a high four shirt.
Nice.
So it's a shirt with like a hand with only 4 fingers, including the thumbs.
And
so.
I didn't mention it. It doesn't say it on the website, but every person that I see wearing one, I'm gonna run up and high five in the chest. So.
Right where the hand is.
Right
yeah.
where the hand
High
is.
four
you
in
know,
the
high
chest,
four.
man. High four.
High
in the
four.
chest.
Yeah, did I
Oh,
say high
that's
five?
amazing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna high five it. Left hand is out of the game.
Okay, when you first started, everyone was like, "Come on, man!" Like probably you still right. But you had the idea.
You had the
Yeah.
idea.
You didn't listen to the people who weren't your people. You
Yeah.
had good support from mom and dad, which is actually amazing to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you tell people? You go to a school
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, Mr. and Mrs. Principal, this is the amount of money I would need to be able to do
Yeah.
this with these kids. How did that go for you?
I am not super salesy. I understand.
You don't really
branding
seem
and
like it.
marketing.
You're very friendly and social,
No, you're
Yeah.
incredible.
but I don't know that I would buy a
And-
cleaner from you.
right?
You know, if you tried to
Yeah.
clean tried to sell something on my door, I wouldn't be like,
Yeah, so it's something I struggle with still.
Okay.
And so if I'm approaching a childcare center or a school or parents with something like prices, I just have to tell myself that I'm worth it. Like the program is worth it.
The program's totally worth it. You're
Yeah.
worth it. Your time, the effort you're going to put forward to them is worth it. I'm getting aggressive. I'm hitting the fan remote all over the place here.
Yeah.
Because the program is utilized to help the children, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not designed to waste, their time, their money, and not help them develop it all. No, it's used to help them become better students in the future.
Right. And if they don't value what the program has to offer, then those are going to be the people who push back with, oh, that's too expensive, or oh, can I?
Not
But-
even so much price. I want to kind of guide it away from
I
that.
didn't even
Sorry.
think of price
No
at
worries,
all.
no worries.
Yeah.
I did bring it up.
Yeah.
How
But-
did you just get the idea across? Was it like just because kind of what I'm hearing is, look, I believe in it so much that of course it's worth this money.
Mm-hmm.
Did you kind of just believe in it so much that you engaged, like other people were like, fuck, she's really excited about this. Like, is that
The
kind of how,
energy.
was it?
I can't put my finger on what exactly it would have been.
Okay.
But yes,
Okay.
in terms of energy.
Something like that.
Because you carried it with yourself. You did not believe in yourself.
Yeah, well, that's not true. There's many times where
Oh.
I have not believed in myself, but that's
You
the
kept
practice.
pushing. Yeah, you kept moving forward with it.
Totally. And I think one of you mentioned, like, it always comes back down to the kids. So on those days where I'm like, what am I doing? Or who am I? Like that existential question.
Yeah, you're
we
falling
ask.
apart on the fundamentals of your
Right.
soul.
And then, mhm.
I get
Deep.
you.
Whoa.
Has happened many times, but you remember why you're doing it, and so that energy comes back, and then you show up with that. I remember one conversation in particular. I was at a conference with a woman who had tried to do it before, like tried to introduce yoga into her classroom, and was met with a lot of pushback.
Well, the pushback.
Yeah, and
Now, was that directly from the parents or the school or
the parents, I think, and
Interesting.
perhaps other staff members.
Interesting.
And so
That's being afraid to change.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
Don't be
it would be a different generation too when she was trying to
True.
when she was trying to implement.
Very true.
But it wasn't her approaching me to say, like, look, this is what happened, but you can do different or achieve different. It was, this is what happened, and you should not do this because of X,
So
Y,
she
and
was
Z.
negative the idea
Negative
then.
Nancy.
Ah, negative Nancy. Get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah, and those
What a-
people get in your head for,
for sure. They make you think about it because they bring an idea that you're like,
How did you decide to go forward anyways?
This is going to be so cheesy, but it's just like I've followed my heart.
no, that is what we're trying to get with
I like it.
the
I
show.
like
That
it.
is that's the whole idea with the show is that trying to get the people that have that heartfelt
Yeah.
desire, the push in their brain, their heart to not give up on the idea and to push through like you did because you it felt right. You
Yeah.
you just had to do it.
Right, and if there was a time where I was not following my heart or that thing that I wanted to do, it was only a matter of time until I would have some form of like panic attack or
Yeah.
mental health challenge to bring me back into perspective of, okay, no.
I need it. Let's do it. I need
Go
to do
back.
it. Yep, need to do it.
Yeah.
So you kind of like, It was almost as if your path of least resistance was the path of most resistance.
Totally.
It was kind of like that, is what I'm
Never
heard
heard that
from
before,
you.
but that,
Whoa,
yeah,
it's like
write that down in
that
my
road
book.
is.
All right, well, we'll put it on YouTube and you can catch it live. Right? The path of least resistance is the path of most resistance. Was there a point when you quote unquote got an account or a specific classroom or a particular family, and then after that, like,
It all started, yeah.
the landslide, snowball, whatever you want to call it, did that happen to you?
Yeah, it did actually. So I naturally started with a class at my mom's center. And prior to that, I was working as a supervisor at the center. So I had met other supervisors
Right on.
in the field.
In the field.
And there was one in particular who was one of my people. She really was interested in what I was doing. And so she invited me into her program.
Her classroom? Right on.
And then I got offered an opportunity at a private school because someone heard of what I was doing and really liked it. And so I can, my business has grown really organically over time.
Just natural word of mouth
word
and
of mouth.
spreading, and which is the best, like, because
Yeah.
that's positive reviews bringing more customers.
Yeah, and I show up where they are. Like my approach to sales, I suppose, is like showing up at their conferences and going to their workshops and being a part of their world.
Their
so that
world,
I get
yeah.
it.
You're becoming part of their life so that they are just naturally bringing you into theirs, and then all of a sudden I'm teaching your kids, and
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
right there, we made a perfect connection.
Right. And then from there, I was given an amazing opportunity by an organization, Child Development Resource Connection, PEAL. It's a long name, CDRCP. But they allowed me to teach my first workshop. So
Oh, wow.
I had, I don't know, between 20 and 30 educators learning about how to bring kids yoga into their classroom.
Very cool.
And that education piece is actually what really
Expanded
made
it and-
yeah, because now I have 30 different centers in my room.
Wow.
And 30 different cheerleaders to go back and say, I had
This
this
lady's
amazing
crazy. Yeah,
experience.
Great
Awesome.
experience. Yeah.
And then they invite us out. So know where they are, and then like give them what they want. Like give them the experience that they want.
Yeah.
So that they love you.
They
and then
it's like
you become a
then
part of
they
their world.
they want you to come back every week, and yeah, that's just it's part of the routine now. It's
Yeah.
part of the schedule.
Yeah.
And that's probably such a rewarding, because then you end up growing the relationships. Have the relationships really been another like positive aspect to the whole career job, this whole market of owning this company, where you're seeing the families, the not only just the kids that
Right.
you're dealing with, but then the parents as well.
Yeah, for sure. My relationship with the families, so the parents of the kids who take my classes, is a really special one. They are so into it and so supportive of their children doing yoga. And then they are incredibly supportive of telling other people of how wonderful it is.
And they love it so much.
Yeah, I recently realized that I need to get Google reviews so that I can score better or
Hop
whatever,
up there,
get up to the
Google,
top.
it's crazy. Google
You
reviews
just
have started
need it,
mattering now.
right?
Yeah, it's weird.
And so I sent out an e-blast to my families and
Everyone.
had like 10, pretty much as soon as I sent it, I had 10 reviews, and then had
5
0
stars.
the day before.
Nice.
Right?
Very nice.
So relationship with families is the like warm and fuzzy one. When it comes to the providers, like the childcare providers or the principals, we don't get to spend a lot of time with
them or dealing with them. It's just in making that initial relationship and connection there to sell your service to them.
Yeah, and then I would hope that the relationship would develop from there. But one of the flaws of our society and the sector that I'm in general is that we have no time, quote unquote.
Yeah, true.
And so if there's no time to have a conversation, then the relationship isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And so it's a matter of carving out opportunities to get that
time there, yeah. Which is, I mean, like you said, so important to build the relationships, because the business is built on it's a whole freaking circle.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to see that, even with just the guests, as Niffin always loves to, because his brain it pulls information from, as we were saying, 25 guests, and he can still pull information from the first one when we had Dom
That's
and Fran
incredible.
on. This guy, he's an incredible person to be a friend with, but it's like to think of all of those friendships that you could make with all those people, and then to try and be able to recall information from people from those friendships. And then again, where I was going with the original comment there was like, what we often kind of end up finding is that what one guest say, how many other guests have kind of referenced the circle where, let's say I'm going to pat your back, you're going to pat Buddy's back, who's then going to pat my back, who then I'm going to pat your back, who's going to, what I mean? It's a circle of life and happiness.
Yep. The circle of life.
Yeah, we're just,
and I
haven't
presume,
seen the new one. I really wanted to watch the
presume
new
one of the ways,
good?
just to kind of land this plane, one of the ways you actually do create the time within the cycle and within the industry is like those coming back to doing a workshop for them. So now the PA day or PD day that's written in for all these people to go and stare at someone, you get to be the person on stage to say, hey, look, I really think this could help you.
Totally.
And that's kind of where they kind of start. Is that accurate? Where then now the school, they've seen you. Wow, that was really good. And then they.
Yeah. That's definitely
cool.
it.
Cool.
That is super.
I like
so
it, man.
Cool, man.
Okay,
So
here's
cool.
one. Here's one that I'm really curious about. Not that I haven't been curious about all of them, but
all the
I
other
have
ones,
so
this
much.
one's a little more.
I'm very curious. What kind of changes can I expect? I bring you my 4-year-old who's a little temperamental, overscheduled life, everything we just talked about.
It's coming home
7 weeks later, or however many weeks later.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll leave that as a question too. How long and what kind of changes should I expect to see from kids yoga?
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Super good question. Consistency will always provide the best results. So
life.
Yeah. So those kids that I see every week for 8 weeks in a row, every season, what I see from them is a lot different than who I'm seeing in that one class that I only ever see once.
Fair
right?
enough.
So I guess to start at the bottom, those people that I only get to interact with once, what they get out of it is just fun, pure fun and
They
joy.
don't learn anything from it, right? Because there's nothing.
They don't. I'm stopping you there. They learn every single moment.
No, they always are learning. They should be always learning. They should always be learning.
Did you hear her voice?
It turned, man. It turned.
She went from being so cordial to like, whoa!
Whoa.
She's asserting her dominance as the king of the jungle.
Exactly.
She
So
comes out,
they're
deep
always
voice.
learning, but they just
Queen of
maybe
the
not
jungle.
take it to heart,
right.
Because of just the once, not repetitive.
Yeah, we talked about those seeds, planting seeds,
Planting the
and so
seeds.
it's just one seed that I get to plant, really, in those cases. But
That's for like one session.
Yeah.
You're in for
One
an hour or
session,
two.
plant a seed.
on the
Gotcha.
other end of the spectrum, if you brought your 4-year-old to one of the 8-week programs, the things
Planting
that,
it and watering it.
yes,
in a
the
sense.
entire time. So the most visible benefits that we can see are things like improved balance, improved strength, and body control, motor control. So those are kind of the outside benefits that we can actually see with our eyes. But when it comes to the other side, that internal side, we teach them how to breathe. Take a deep breath. Yeah.
Proper breathing cycles is a huge thing that I really don't think anybody ever really talks about, because breathing, you don't ever really pay attention to it. You start paying attention to it, and there is definitely it can help relieve you when you're kind of feeling stressed or anxiety, or even when you're trying to sleep. Slowing down your breathing can help you fall asleep quicker. And
You ever heard of Wim Hof?
Yes.
You know him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard of him?
No.
Dude, he's crazy. He's called AKA
Was that the guy that swam across
the Iceman.
Yeah,
and
okay, yeah.
So I'm just going to add, proper breath, he's manipulating literally his immune system, his thermal system. He's changing huge parts about him. It's all with his breath, man. So it's very, very vital.
Should we give the listeners a recap of who he is, just in case they don't know?
Might be a good
Or,
idea.
you know what I mean?
Wim Hof is the Iceman. He figured out how to manipulate his body with his breath. I think I just covered
But
that.
that's so
He's
vague. It's
How did
just
he
so
get there?
vague.
How did he
Yeah,
get
how did he
there?
get there? What did he do?
I
You
don't know how he figured it out. I
His
don't know
lifetime
that.
of
I know
research.
that he will swim in Finland in the ice, in the ice
Water
water.
that's negative 20 or whatever.
He'll he did some sort of marathon above the Arctic Circle in nothing but shorts.
Yeah.
This
That's
guy's
okay, right there.
ridiculous.
He's ridiculous.
He does many push-ups without breathing because he hyperventilates and gets the oxygen in because he's manipulating his breath. That was the whole
Yeah.
point of it. I didn't want to go into about
Well, I just felt like we
Iceman.
left. He's the Iceman.
Look what
They're
they
gonna get
can
Game of
turn
Thrones,
into
you know.
if they know how to take those deep breaths. But
Exactly.
Where the coolest thing that I've seen and heard from educators and parents is we use something called a breathing ball. It's a Hoberman sphere in like actual terms.
I've heard that word, but I don't know what it means.
It's a ball that you can like it expands and contracts. So
it goes into itself, kind of.
Yeah, it's more like hinge. I don't know how to describe it.
I'm gonna Google it, and then we'll put a photo in the video right at this point. I don't know where we're at, but I'm just gonna Google it to get an idea.
Love it. So
What is it called?
Gonna have to find this moment.
Sphere, and it expands and contracts, and what it does is it shows the kids. It gives the kids a visual to attach to their breath.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
So when the ball gets bigger,
hold on, let me make it a
breathe
GIF.
in. Did you find it?
Yeah, I did totally.
Yeah,
so this kind
there
of
it is.
thing here. Let's see.
Oh, those are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really cool.
So it's a sphere it looks like it's kind of made of Connects, and as you like make it smaller, it gets very dense, and as you bring it out, it turns into the web at its full expansion. You can Google it, Hoberman, Hoberman sphere. Okay, and you associate that to breath, because now you can see the
lungs, like lungs in your body going,
right,
and then.
Yeah, and we practice in a fun and just a fun environment,
fun dancing way,
right?
yeah.
But then 3 days later, when they're having a meltdown, or they don't know how to express themselves, or they're really having a hard time with a transition, you can bring the breathing ball, and they know what to do. It's like a cue.
It's a cue to breathe in this fashion. You know,
Yep.
take long, slow breath. How do you use the ball in that sense? I'm not trying to give away your secrets.
Yeah.
But like, do we go in like slower, quicker fashion? Do we variate kind of what we're trying to accomplish with our breathing, or?
No, it's more consistent. I sing a song. There's a song. There's so many songs.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm most excited about. She's
I'm
like, you guys want to come? Like, are we singing and dancing and moving?
Dancing and breathing and coming out better people at the end of it with more movement in our body.
That's the hope, right? Yeah. So the song gets them into a rhythm, and then the ball matches the rhythm of the song, and it's just all like, so there's an auditory component and a visual component. So we bring in all of the senses to.
I'd say hit all the stimulant points for a child.
Do you find personality differences as well? Like, is the child like a little bit less of an asshole?
A little bit of an asshole. You know?
Are they more willing to participate with other kids? Like sharing increases? Like, is that
100%?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always like that kid.
That was me.
Is this
so
kid
why?
named
You're
like Billy or Tommy,
or
it's always got like a Y on the end of it?
Yeah. So I mean, but
usually, man, it's just usually
yours is a W,
true.
bro.
Mine's
it's not
a W,
y.
but I wasn't the dick of the kid. I wasn't the dick. I was the dick's buddy.
But yeah, well, you remember yourself as a child? They still exist.
Yeah.
Classrooms
Oh,
today.
so I'm pretty cool now. You need to go through the Charmander to get to the Charizard, right?
That's a great point. That is such a good point. You're not a badass, do you?
Oh my goodness.
You know Pokemon, did that go over your head? Did you get it?
So over my head.
Okay, well, like in Pokemon, they start out as a baby one and they grow into like a bigger, and like I just said,
as
the
you
smallest one
kill
the-
other enemies.
Listen, this is a good place for a break. I'll explain Pokemon to Wawa Lisa in the break.
Bro, I got my Game Boy. I'll show her.
Yeah, we'll break out the Game Boy
kidding,
Color, man. We're coming with Really Want to Let You Down by Mono Whales and Toothpick by Stand Atlantic. This is Carter. This is Crawford. This is La La Lisa. CFRE, DriveWire Radio, Sound Drive Records, UTM Campus. I'm stalling as long as I can to go to this break. Just joking around. Catch us out when we come back. Listen, we got biblical. We got biblical here on this. It was such a good break. It was of biblical proportions. What are you doing, man? Are you breaking the desk?
I'm trying to break it. Just
so
kidding.
Practicing for your dog pile with the kids.
It's gonna be fun. So
we didn't know.
Was
we're
it on
gonna
there?
give them an insider secret.
Did we joke about it on there? We did joke about it on there. Okay, Crawford and I are actually gonna do some yoga with this. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Stick tuned. DriveWire goes yoga.
It's gonna be a DriveWire exclusive release. We can add some cool videos, make some cool edits.
Love it.
I'm really excited about that. We have a couple announcements to make. You have a book.
Yeah.
Got a
It's
book.
freaking awesome. When did you write it?
In 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, so a couple years
ago.
It's one of those projects where I wanted to write a book, and so I did, but I knew nothing about writing a book.
So you just did it.
So I just did it.
How'd it go?
And it went
well enough.
Like the book's out.
Yeah, it's
The book,
released. It's people are buying it, so it's gone pretty good.
Yeah, so it's doing okay. I mean, it has its unedited,
Parts.
coiffed, parts. But the kids like it, and teachers
Edition
like
2
it.
can happen. Edition 2 can happen. It's called I'm a Growing Yogi. Where can people buy it?
On my website, so lalawellness.ca or growingyogi.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Growingyogi.com. Very cool.
I don't mean to sound too redundant, but it's about kids doing yoga. It's about growing and meditation. Like what's
Sure, yeah. So it's for younger children, obviously, because that's who I
Yeah,
work
it's a
with.
kid's
So
book.
Animated book
Yeah,
with
it's
some
written,
pictures?
No, so there's
No
I
pictures?
shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
There's pictures of real children
Okay.
in yoga poses, accompanied by an illustration that matches
To
the
kind of
pose.
show them how to do it and...
Not to show them how to do it, but to make an association.
Oh,
So,
association with the pose that which
yeah.
is being done.
Yeah, like a
Ah.
visual association.
like what?
So, for example, on airplane pose, there's two lovely little girls in airplane balancing, and there's an airplane flying above their head.
Okay.
Or on the tree pose page, like there's a tree
Got you. Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Just
it's not the images themselves don't necessarily tell the child what
How
it
to-
is,
what-
but it's planting a seed of
Yeah.
this is connected to that. It's written to the tune of "I'm a Little Teapot," so it's a song.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig that. I'm almost...
My name is Andrew Crawford. This is the tune. I think everybody knows that I'm not going to finish it off.
I mean, it could have went some good places.
It could have.
went some good
I should
places.
have finished it off. I'm like, okay, I follow this thing. I'm not sure what it's called on Facebook, but it popped up really recently. I want to ask your opinion about this. Some places in the States, I believe it was, instead of sending their kids who have been bad to detention, they're sending them to meditation.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I have.
You like it?
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that okay, so that kid who is often sent to detention is the child who doesn't know how to self-regulate and doesn't need the adult in the room to tell them that they are like not worthy of attention, and they're not saying those words, but that's what ends up happening when you send a kid to detention or when you put a kid in timeout. You're excluding them from.
And then when they're in that room, they're allowed to talk. They're not allowed to socialize. They're not allowed to,
Yeah,
I
so-
remember detention. It was
Brutal.
Sucked.
Right?
Sucked, man.
But in meditation and
Meditation's
in
totally different.
Yeah, they get to learn a skill, one, sitting and breathing. Maybe not even sitting. I'm not sure what their rooms look like, but they learn to self-regulate. They learn to calm themselves down, which is what they actually need. They don't need to be detained.
Yeah.
They need the skills
To be helped.
It's
To be
almost
helped.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
I hate getting political. I'm not going to, but it's like
You're
it
about
almost
to.
puts the children in like a prison-like system.
Yeah.
It puts them
That's
into a
not political.
room, in
I-
a detention room.
It does.
Well,
It's
You know,
it's a miniature
excludes them,
version.
it's a
Of, it
miniature-
is a miniature version of jail, right?
It
Like,
is.
it's like-
It
It's-
is.
it
that's why they
100%.
call a
It's-
juvenile center a detention
center,
right?
yeah.
So it's like to be detained, right?
A detention.
No,
to
and it
be-
is, and
yeah.
I love that, and I was just wondering, like, I don't know if you brought that article up at a couple of those sales meetings that you're not so strong in, but it might help you. A couple pointers here and there.
Yeah, for sure. Anything like that, that's like, I put it in my social proof folder, and that ends up being,
part of the cell.
yeah, like.
Well,
part
it
of the
would help
background.
sell me if I was somebody who was looking to help my school.
Yep.
Moving away from detention is the best thing as possible because it deters kids from wanting to commit crimes essentially in the
Yeah.
in the school or whatever. It's not crimes; it's just punishable acts of treason. And then, but if we can give them yoga time to meditate and just relax and be calm instead
Think
of
about what you did.
Yeah, I mean, like.
But on a real note,
on a-
actually sit down and think about it now, please.
it could be huge because then you could help make them into better people, as you said with what you're trying to do with all the little.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think it's cool.
I could, yeah.
It
I wish we had
contributes-
that.
It contributes to the circle that circle
The
that we keep
circle of
talking
life,
about.
yes.
So they we give them the tool of mindfulness and meditation, and then they're able to pass that on
Yeah.
to other people.
Mm-hmm.
One of the coolest things in my line of work anyways is I get emails from parents saying that their child told them to breathe and then
Nice.
told them
How to
what
do
to
it?
do. Yeah, so like a 3-year-old looking up at mom who's having a freak out saying,
Mommy, you're
Just
kind of stressed.
breathe.
Just breathe.
right?
Get in the airplane mode and just.
Yeah, so we can learn a lot from children, and we can take a play from their book very often. And I mean, yeah, detention's just not
No, it's
not
not. It's
really.
not really
Timeout.
with
It's
it.
not where they can
it's
do
kinda
that.
counteractive. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like timeouts. Yeah, I mean, it's like the Malcolm Mills great show I watched, but in the episodes, they always make the kid go stand against the wall, face against the wall in the
Yeah.
corner,
What
whatever.
good is
How does that
that?
make you a better person at all? It just makes you want to
be a
be a little.
angry person. It doesn't
Exactly.
make you want, but you end up
You
becoming,
end up becoming
angry,
it.
and then you need therapy later on in life,
Yep.
and maybe you don't access it, so then you become the crazy person.
See, that's a negative
That's a
circle.
negative
That's
circle.
the opposite.
Is that why I have 12 cats?
Yeah, see, it's-
I don't know.
Shh, you're not.
So one of the things, by the way, for the record, I don't have
doesn't
any.
have
I have
12
one
cats.
hamster and one girlfriend, and that is enough for this guy. She's smiling over there, making her laugh. Okay, one of the things I like about what you do so much is you're planting the seeds so early that like,
They're
even
gonna
if
grow.
these
They're gonna
kids
grow.
before 6 get like the slightest little bit of mindfulness. By the time they're 26 or 27, hopefully that mindfulness has blossomed into like an actual changing factor of habits in their life over
Yeah.
time that's going
Something
to serve them.
good.
I really
Yeah.
think that's cool.
For sure.
You know-
And that's something we won't know until, like, in 20 years I'll know.
I really
Because my
think,
kids will be 25 then.
yeah,
And then-
I
but-
really
but
think
they'll
you should
be-
find a way to keep tabs on like 7 of them.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, this is
These are
especially the
experimental
ones
children.
who, especially the ones who excelled, because then
Yes.
if hey Johnny, how are you doing at like 29 years old? Like, whoa, like, you know what I mean?
He's a neurosurgeon,
Unfortunately,
and
you'll
Kayla
be
is a
however old you'll be,
neurosurgeon.
like, you know,
Yeah.
in your 50s by that point, but like,
Almost.
yeah, but then you'll know, right?
Totally.
And maybe you can
Well,
usher in the change.
all the kids that are in the book, I'm a Growing Yogi, like, those are, they will be part of my,
They're forever contacts.
Yeah.
They're people you're never going to try and lose contact with.
definitely. And I try to keep contact with, like, all of my kids and all of my family. So, I learn their birthdays, and then I put it in the
Right on.
birthday folder, and then I send them an email on their child's birthday so that, like,
They feel
they-
appreciated
they
and
feel-
noticed. And
yeah, like, you remembered.
Yeah. That matters so much.
Yeah, like, a bunch of my kids aged out, so they went to quote unquote big school.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh my, the tears.
Goodbye.
yeah.
Goodbye, little one who's
Yeah.
now too big to be
It's
little.
This will be forever.
It feels that way. But like, I made sure, like, I reached out to their parents on the first day of school, saying, like, I really hope that
I hope they had a great day.
it went
and-
well, right? So, a lot of the background work that I do is just making sure that those connections are still, like, connected.
Connected, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The web of connections, like the ball you
People
use.
just want to
as,
feel special. Like, so in
telling
those
me,
moments,
I work to get any kind of compliment from these people in this room. You know what I mean? I'm kidding, guys.
There's no winning with this guy. I give him a centimeter and he takes 100 of them. Man, this
I want
guy-
an inch. Don't give me a centimeter. I want an inch.
Shit, man, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
No, it's a very supportive team around here. We're all very happy. We're all very happy.
you've got big smiles, so I'll take that as
All
a
I
good
can
sign.
all I can present is a smile. That's all I live for every day. So I guess, do you have any like specific programs that have changed over the time that you've worked with the kids that you thought maybe this was working, but I see that maybe I want to change a part of it to maybe do something a little better?
For sure. Yeah, when I first started, I knew what I was doing, but like I didn't know what I was doing.
Learning.
At all. And so I look back on those class plans and like what I was trying to get the kids to do, and I'm like, that was so silly. Like, that was a silly choice.
That was a silly
without
choice.
like
Oh,
throwing
jeez.
yourself too far under the bus, can you think of one that started out as I thought this was a great idea and it turned out as not so much?
Yeah. I'm just going to do the first one that comes to mind.
Sure.
I remember it was my first like Christmas time, holiday time as a kids yoga teacher, and so I was really married to taking them on a Grinch adventure.
Oh, interesting.
So very married to it. I thought they were going to love it because one child said they liked the Grinch. So I took that interest
That
and was
was
like,
the
I'm
asshole.
running with this, right? Actually, though, and he's my little cousin, so I can say that.
I love that. Okay, sorry, go on.
What did you say?
I said he's the little asshole,
Ah.
and she's like, yeah, he's my cousin, so he was.
Yeah,
What's that?
yeah,
So
that's-
Grinch is
I can
it is
validate
a
that.
scary. It's not scary because
No.
Jim Carrey is.
What went
I love
wrong?
him,
What
but
went wrong? They hated it, but I decided to keep teaching through that class plan anyways, and it was
Oh,
the
no.
worst class because I wasn't
learning.
acknowledging them. I wasn't present with them. I was just
Here
I thought
it
this
is.
was the most
Do
amazing
it.
class plan, and that's actually, I guess, in the bigger scheme of things, I have had to learn to like plan, but then throw the plan away.
Just away.
Completely. And so in the beginning, when you're first starting, you want that plan. You like want your book in front of you so that you know exactly what you're going to do next. And it's important, or it feels important anyways, to have every single thing figured out.
For sure.
And now, because with more experience and time, it's able to be a little bit more organic. I'm able to like notice if there is a need for a change. Yeah. And I'm just able to, well, not all the time, but the intention is to just make it and meet them where they're at.
And you're reading the audience now at this point. Like you're able to read them and see that if they're engaging, if they like it.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of sounds, it's a stupid question because you just kind of said that, the kids didn't really like the Grinch one. But do you find that if they don't like it, then they don't want to be involved with it at all? That's kind of
it's so much harder to get a child engaged if they have no interest in what you're talking about. It's why, like, think about school and the subjects that we have to study.
That's hilarious. We were talking about that earlier. I couldn't. A history class.
Right? But you had to do it. You had no interest in it, but you had to do it.
Well, you're supposed to. And
I'm with Crawford, man. I didn't know this about myself until later, but I am not the kind of person that you can get to do something that I really. If I kind of don't want to do it, and you really need it done, I'm gonna do it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I really don't want to do it, you're not getting me to make it. It's not happening.
But $100,000, you're like, I don't care though. But I do care about $100,000.
The money's not.
Money's a bad
The money's
option.
not. Listen, I don't want to put this on air, but Crawford has told me he would do some pretty raunchy things for $100,000.
$100 million. Well, I think we said $100 million. There's been some things.
On that note, we're going to a music break. We have Flooded Field by what? Caracol?
Caracol.
Did I get it? Okay, sorry, Caracol. I messed that up big time in my head there. And My World by Raz coming up. It's going to be sweet. You got Andrew. You got Carter. You got La La Lisa. We're going to a break. DriveWire Radio, CFRE. Check us out when we're back.
I'm back. We're all back.
What?
What was that? I just
bro?
we were back a little sooner, and I had to fill it. You know what I mean? Do weird shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we got one of those messed up countdown by Dom, the Italian, in the background.
He's like 30,
10, 4, 6, 1.
No, he didn't do nothing wrong.
We never quite know when we're going on air with this guy, right? Before I did any sort of radio, I always thought like the 10 seconds leading up to the conversation was always like perfect silence and the room was quiet. But with this class, we're like laughing and joking around. And 3, 2, quiet, and then it goes to air. Like that's how we are here at DriveWire. Like again, like we
it's
are
a fun bag.
Man, listen,
it's a fun bag of people.
If you show up on the show, you are gonna have a good time.
Oh,
thank you. La La Lisa thinks we are La La Lovely.
Yes, I do. Stealing that.
All right, Lisa. Stace loves that part. She liked that. We got. If there's a noise on the video
there,
yeah,
put it.
I want that noise. She like squealed like our hamster does. She made a tiny noise. So okay, this is the part of the show where I tell the guest what I learned, and then we talk about it.
Unreal.
Okay, point 1, which I liked a lot. Actually, I don't think we had this point on our show either. So you might have gotten 2 new points out of this guy.
2 new points.
That's pretty rare.
This is huge.
Never stop the body learning. I'm gonna extend that to never stop the like self-learning,
brain learning.
But dude, I love that so much. Yeah, like I really resonate with that big time. The artists, the entrepreneurs, the people that I know who are most self-aware, they go the furthest. Because we didn't talk about it on air, but we talked off air. Like, how big is your team? And you started with this really small number, and I was like, well, what about this? And what about the team started to grow as we talked about it. But by knowing who you are on a real level, you can get the people to do the stuff that you're not.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So never stop your body learning. And as you're making these distinguishing thoughts about yourself and really making sure they're clear, dude, there's no telling how far you can get. Because the things that you can take on, if you know who you are, well, I can get those things done. But the things that you don't want to do or can't do, man, get help on that stuff. Definitely. So I love that.
And asking for help is one of the best things you can do.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Yeah, it's hard.
Know how to do it
for some people.
It's really hard.
For sure. Well, me as well. It's But
also, you're entrepreneurial, and the only thing you've ever known, like probably, you strike me as the kind of person that if you got a group project in class, you would just do the whole thing because you're so good at everything.
How did you know?
Yeah.
Guys, I'll just take this one. Be like, we just got the paper. Be like, I'll take it. Just leave it to me.
But
you want an A? I got this.
But what's so interesting is like, and I know that you know this because you have a team, once you break out of this, I have to do it all myself. And you're like, okay, well, if I can just be really good at this, the yoga part, I can get some other loudmouth person with a bright shirt and a fucking man bun to go to a school and tell them and ask for prices.
Hey,
and stuff.
hey,
I
man
can
bun.
get
Damn,
someone
I don't
else-
have the man bun.
I can get
Damn.
someone else to do it, right? I love that.
Got a
The
loud voice
second
and a
point
bright
that I
shirt.
have was I just wrote kids getting stressed at first, but then I wrote chill out in the schedule.
Yeah.
Calm your schedule.
Don't
to
know
release
if
the
that's
stress
like
on
a
the
point I
children.
want to talk on because I don't know much
Yeah.
about it, but I feel like that makes sense. Like when we were growing up on the plains of Africa, there wasn't a whole lot of scheduling of your day going on. Like that's such a new thing.
Totally.
And I really think that we all, adults included, need to just like
Calm your schedule.
chill out for a bit, man.
Yeah,
you
create
know?
some space.
Big time. Put a point in your day. This is something I've actually done. I have a part of my day where I'm designed to do nothing.
Amazing.
Dude, and the
Just
best
sit there and
ideas
do
that I
nothing.
have for DriveWire, the best ideas that I have
Coming at
for my
you.
business, right at that time, I'm just
Yeah.
sitting down. I'm like, okay, I'm literally going to think of nothing. And then I have like 7 of the best ideas
Yeah.
that have been mulling over for the...
Just
so
been sitting there.
create
building.
the space, man. I like that. The next one that I also really like, that also, I think we've had a similar point. Be the king or queen of the jungle. Dude, I love that. Man, I love that. Like, Dom and I are gonna cut our hair and look better as we go. Like that's us becoming visually the lion, the king in the jungle. There's like how many artists go on stage and they don't look like they belong
Right.
on the stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, it's weird. I don't even have to hear you
Sucks.
and I know you don't belong there.
Sucks,
right?
yeah.
And but by understanding, look, if I can, how does somebody look when they're on stage? Man, watch the YouTube videos. Watch John Mayer. Watch like, I don't know, any of your favorite
Dave
music.
Grohl.
Dude,
Dave Grohl
Literally
owns the stage.
go to a Lala wellness
Yeah,
meditation.
go to one of the classes.
By the way, there
See
are
her
free
own
ones. I
the
didn't say that.
class.
There are 3 upcoming free.
Workshops.
Thank you. I
Huge.
forgot the word.
Yeah,
So,
Workshops.
So
Yep.
there's September 29th at North Toronto Memorial Community Center.
Which is this Sunday.
North
Yep.
Toronto Memorial Community Center this Sunday. There's Thursday, October 12th at Swansea Town Hall. And also Sunday, November 3rd at Kula Yoga Studio. Oh my goodness, Kula
I
Yoga
know all the
Studio.
names, right?
They are getting me. Okay, you can check these out at Eventbrite. The times, everything will be located there, or at you can, if you go to Eventbrite, just type in La Free. La Free. You cannot possibly misspell that. Or lalawellness.com or growingyogi.com. You'll have ideas there as far as the information and what you need.
Growing Yogi. How can you not
I like
get
it.
that right? It's such a good name.
Okay, you said this one that has come up before, but I totally love it. Know what they are interested in. I have they caps and underlined. I cannot tell you how much I resonate with that. Like, don't go to the metal gig with a folk song. Like,
Yeah,
just
why,
don't.
why
Just
would
don't do it.
you?
Y'all want to change your genre?
You know what I mean? You don't want to be that
No,
far off. Don't
no.
go to the old folks' home and start doing deadmau5. Don't do it.
Yeah, 'cause
Maybe
it's
I
play
not in
mean,
alignment.
maybe play some older
Not
stuff.
all of them are gonna
Look,
like it.
it's
but
it's not like they're all gonna totally hate it. Probably one of those gonna be like, "This is pretty cool."
this is cool.
But look, overall,
No
know
one's gonna
know
connect.
what they are interested. Your fans, your partners. Man, if I showed up here and I didn't have ideas to talk about with our guests, or I didn't have anything to say to these guys, and I was just talking about stuff they don't care about, how far are we gonna get as a team? Like, I
Yeah.
love that you said that. Know
Just
what
gotta-
they are interested in.
we would not go very far.
You also, this came up lots of times. You said, do the thing. You're like, just do it, man.
Yeah.
Like, just go and follow your heart and just do the thing.
Yeah.
Do it.
I love it.
May I expand on that just a little?
Please. This
Absolutely.
whole point is for you to expand on whatever of this. You're like, yeah, that, I
Oh,
remember.
I've just
Yeah.
been sitting quietly.
I know,
patiently,
but it's all
kindly.
good.
I could talk.
but
We
but-
did
to
say
all
we
of
did say
them.
we could crack open a can for everything. That was
Yeah,
being
yeah,
said
wherever
there.
you want to
Alright,
go
well,
with it. So do the thing.
on that note, I mentioned with I'm a Growing Yogi, I wanted to write the book, and so I wrote the book and I self-published it, and that was that. And so I just did it. I went for it.
Just
Now,
do it.
because I know, quote unquote, what the process is for writing a book and publishing it, it's like this fear has come up now all of a sudden.
Oh.
There's this like block to doing it because there was a success, and now can I do that again?
Can you do it again?
And so it's yes, it's about like just doing it, going for it, but knowing that like there will be things that you will have to break through in order to do that. Further.
How do you make those breakthroughs?
Yeah. How do you break through it?
I think, I mean, this is, I guess, more personal. I don't know if anybody else would do it this way, but yeah, because it's silly the way that I do it. I just stop. I push it away. I'm like, okay, that's very nice, but I'm just gonna push it to the side. Yep, I'm gonna prioritize it for later, and then it just sits there and sits there and sits there, and then I notice I get sadder and sadder and sadder because I pushed that thing that I want away. Yeah, I can bring dance as an example up too. Like, I stopped dancing abruptly and then did not dance for a few years. I had to get back into it, or I had to have a nervous breakdown.
You had to kind of get to the point of wanting to do it so badly, but not being able to force yourself to do it.
I had to break everything open
and then do it
so that I could put it back together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The glass jar had to break so you could build a bigger, better one.
Yeah, definitely.
That's super interesting.
Have you, I'm just going off a completely, totally different topic here, but have you used your self-taught publishing knowledge to help anybody else that wants to self-publish and write?
Yeah. So anytime I'm out in the world with the book, there's always at least one person who comes up and says, I have an idea for a children's book and I want to make it happen.
Right on.
My response is, then you should do it.
Just do it, yeah.
And then if it turns into anything, we connect. And I tell them all of the steps that I took.
You took
and say,
to make
this
it
is
happen,
not the only path, but this is the path that I took. And so
it worked,
then they can pick and choose what works for them.
I like that, man.
That's huge.
Okay.
People helping people.
The next one, you were talking about prices and you were like, well, I kind of just like, I know that my programs are worth it, and so that's why I can ask those prices. This belief in yourself or your program or your band or your work or the thing that you are selling or the thing that you are doing or the thing that you are a part of or the people that you are around, that is the belief. And I love this because I could tell, like, I am a salesperson, right?
I should hire you.
Well, listen, we'll talk off
air.
But your vibe, and I'm like, okay, but she's entrepreneurial, which means like you have to have some form of sales. So I really wanted to pepper that in there. Like, how are you promoting yourself?
Yeah.
But I love that your answer was, dude, I believe in it. Mm-hmm. It's like I really believe in it, and then people feel my vibe, and then they naturally understand that yes, it's worth the price because it has a value. Mm-hmm. Then it's I don't make it about that. I make it about what I believe in.
Yeah.
And man, I love that.
Yeah.
Like the number of people. Especially, like, I would love to see bands do this more. I asked Phil X. You know who Phil X is? He's the current guitarist for Bon Jovi.
Okay.
But he was, like, lived in L.A. doing odd jobs not related to music while he got really good at guitar. And now he's, like, super popular, one of the best guitarists in the world. Okay, Phil X. I talked to him. I was like, man, like, how do you know when your music's, like, quote-unquote ready? He's like, when you can take it in front of a bus. What a hardcore answer. He said it like that. He's like, when you can stand with it in front of a bus, then you're ready, bro. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Holy crap. But you gave me a really similar answer where you didn't say it like that, but you're like, man, like, I really just believe in it, and that's kind of how I got through the weird stuff. So I love that. Like, people could convince themselves. Sit down like you're a lawyer and you're the judge and convince yourself about the thing that you're doing. So when you're having the weird conversation, it's just, it's not weird.
Yeah, there's like a power in presence, and you have to like show up fully in your body.
Show up.
To whatever conversation it is.
That's it. And that's why people go to La Wellness from 0 to 6. So when they're 19 or 20 or 25 and they have a good idea, they can be present and breathe and stuff. Yeah. I love it, man. I really like it. Okay, here's a cheesy one. You followed your heart.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go right on from that one. Here's one I really liked. You said a lot of really cool things. Remember why you're doing it. Dude, so crucial. I've got several to many at this point mentors who are really well off, and they all talk about find your why. Find your why. Yep. Discover why you're doing it. Probably Sound Drive Records has some sort of why. Definitely Andrew Crawford has a why. I do. And when you hit the brink of like, man, is this really going to work? Or can I do this? Or can I possibly make change? Or like, oh, am I actually helping these 0 to 6-year-olds? That why that first got you into it, like if you can rekindle that, you will find the motivation that you need to. I love that you said that. Okay. You said know where they are and give them what they want. Dude, I think that's super cool. So you talked about know what they're interested at the top, but know where they are.
Yeah.
How many people have like really good skill? Your case is yoga, or there's musicians, or there's like designers or anything, and they know they have a value to add to someone, but they don't know where to go to give the value to whom they're going to give it to.
Yep.
It's so crucial to know where they are. Do you have any ideas of how someone might be able to do that on a better level?
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a simple answer, but I guess those ones are the best.
Simples are the best.
Those are the best answers.
I literally just Googled childcare conferences in Toronto.
Holy shit, she's
Wow,
brilliant.
Right?
Are you able to just invite yourself to them or buy tickets, figure out where they're happening, kind of be in the area?
Yeah, there's that. And then there's also, if there are vendor opportunities or like an opportunity to contribute to the event in some way, I reach out for that purpose. And then I build a relationship with them, and then the next year they welcome me and actually pay me to be there instead of me paying to be there.
Yeah.
So it's
flip a switch.
Yeah, it's like a quick search, or it could be as long as you want, I guess. But you search for that thing that you're looking for. You want to serve, or I shouldn't say thing, the people that you want to serve.
Yeah, I love that you're saying serve too, because a lot of people might, well, I want to do this for you. I want to do this but you're like, no. I just found a way to kind of sponsor their event or help their event or do what I can and really build relationships. And what's cool is naturally they're going to be like, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
And then I do this child wellness night, and so that, and holy crap, maybe we'll have you.
Yeah, so like on a different note, like my boyfriend, he's a songwriter, and so there's this thing in Nashville that he wants to go to. He can't pay to go there. We don't have the funds, but
work towards it.
He reached out and said, "Can I volunteer? Is there anything I can do?" And now he gets to go.
Help at the festival rather than pay to be at the festival.
Yeah, so it crosses like all industries.
Yeah,
how can you help? How can you contribute?
I serve?
How can I be involved?
I love that, man, and that's a really great way. And then this is a huge one that's come up on almost every single show, is like, just, it's who you know, it's the people, it's how to shake those hands. And if you don't know any now, it's how can you begin to know them. And I think that's a great way.
Yeah.
Like, I have bartended at Way Home and Boots and Hearts in the, like, just above Barrie.
Yeah.
They paid me to go there, and I met so many artists. Like, I got paid to freaking walk around with beer and listen to cool music and then meet all the artists I needed to meet. I love that, and I was actually serving. Like, I helped them. They needed someone to drag around the beer, so why not this guy? Like, it was cool. I like it. You mentioned create the time. Put some time in your schedule to do nothing. We already hit on that. Balance, strength, motor control. These are some of the reasons you mentioned for doing yoga so young, which is awesome.
Benefits
I like that.
You long term.
Man,
it
mindfulness.
Helps you grow mind and
mindfulness, the ability to be here now, not forgetting about other stuff, not thinking about other things. Like I was telling you before the show, when I started practicing that, my ability to play harder, more complex pieces on guitar skyrocketed without making the errors or the mistakes, and even like singing and playing at the same time. I'm not really the best singer, but I'm getting there. And it's like making all these complex movements with my mouth and my voice and my and the guitar
at the same time
didn't really come together until mindfulness. For me, it was less yoga and more meditation, but still very, very similar. The breathing, a lot of that stuff. So I love it, man. All right. Last one. This is the one.
I'm ready.
This is a really, really cool thing that you said at the end, and this is the whole point of the whole show is this point. Here it goes. Be prepared enough to abandon your plan.
Yeah.
That is such a good point. No one's ever said it before, and I love it.
Whoa.
I think it's a Picasso quote. He said, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist.
Nice.
Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist.
Banksy, right?
Yeah. Picasso, Banksy, I guess.
I'm joking, because Banksy steals all his stuff. That was
I'm not
wow.
the best with jokes.
Wow. Carter's joke bombs hard.
Sorry, that's on me.
Banksy steals his stuff, so it's obviously Picasso, but it's Banksy.
I hear you. So it's the same premise. It's just like you
man.
have to learn your craft. You can't just show up and give it a whirl. Yeah. Like you have to. I'm
gonna just do it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know anything about it, but I'm gonna just do it. But at the same time,
you have
to just do it.
But then you keep learning
and evolving and changing and adapting and creating new and better and perfecting it.
Totally. Yeah. Then you get confident enough to just show up without a plan.
Yeah. And that's so awesome because this whole entire time, like I really was very excited when he kind of put it out there like, well, no, I should have just abandoned my Grinch plan, and I should have gone like, yeah, man, because now what? You're paying attention to these people. You're listening to what they want. You're definitely validating them. You're creating a new plan on the fly. You're using everything that you're doing. You're doing songs, and it's something that you cannot do when you're first beginning. You can't do it. But as an example of how brilliant this is, what's the Brampton City Center Commons Wednesday show we do sometimes? What's this called? At the Rose Theater. What's it called? DriveWire Presents. Oh my goodness, it's our freaking show. Okay, here we go. This guy's name. Yeah, it's called
the Wednesday night concert series.
Yeah, concert series. Thank you, Clarke. I appreciate that. Point being, there was a dude named Frank Cosentino who put on a ridiculous show there. It was insane. He's like inducted in the Blues Hall of Fame in the States.
Just a legend on the guitar.
The opener for him showed up very late. As we were about to go on and introduce the opener, we basically had to say to Frank, like, listen, man, your opener's not showing up. Yeah. Could you actually maybe do a double header? And without hesitation, he's like, yeah, give us their envelope. They're paying. We'll take care of it. And they switched on the spot to from okay, this is our shorter set. He was like, listen, tonight we've been given an opportunity to play a little bit extra time. I'm going to walk you through my like record collection from when I was a kid. And it was the coolest show I've seen for free in my life. It was the sweetest thing I've ever seen. Crawford missed it to see Brett Kirsch or whoever. Didn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Bring it up. He gets so pissed about
brutal
it.
Brutal miss of a show. Priors. But the guy changed his whole 2-hour plan with his band.
Because somebody bails.
In a click of a finger.
Yeah.
I love that, man. It's such a good way to say. And when you show up and you're that prepared, you can't help but win, man. Can't help but win. Listen,
he already has. And he has.
I'm stoked that La La Wellness is winning.
Yes.
I'm stoked that.
Can't wait to see where it goes into 2020.
I'm Growing Yogi is winning. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm stoked to see where you show up in 2020. I'm stoked with Crawford to show up and do some singing and breathing and yoga. It's gonna be really fun.
And like a bright yellow shirt. You know,
however you feel most comfortable.
I'm probably just gonna show up in like
some shorts,
some reasonable attire. Yeah. It's gonna be really fun, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Do you have anything to shout out to DriveWire Nation? Anything you want to say?
And last match before we go.
This is the moment that you put the person on the spot and you don't know what to say.
Listen, if you don't want to say anything,
you don't have to say anything.
No, I guess just do it and keep going. Like, keep going. And if the direction that you're going in doesn't feel right, then follow that feeling where it does feel right. I don't know if that made sense.
It might lead you right back to where you were going originally.
Yeah, like follow those breadcrumbs. There's one thing I told one of my teachers who works for me. If you have an idea, it came to you for a reason, and so you have to follow it. And if you don't follow it, then it's a waste of an idea.
It's just gone.
But you also have to, but you know those ideas. Like, you know those ideas that are worth following. And so if you deny that idea, that's when things start to go south. But when you, like, accept that idea and plant it and water it,
watch it grow.
Yeah, it gets, I'm 4 years into my business now. I'm expanding into the States. Like, there's
huge.
Yeah, and I never could have anticipated that in the beginning, but I've just been following breadcrumbs, basically.
And we're not at breadcrumbs anymore. We're starting to get into pieces of toast.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's amazing. We're at the pieces of toast. Then we're in whole loaves. Then we're at pizzas, and now we're a whole Italian city.
We got the bakery. You end with the bakery, you know.
Listen, check her out when she's a bakery. It won't be that many years away. This has been La La Lisa, DriveWire Radio, episode number whatever. Doesn't even matter. Catch us next week. DriveWire Radio, CFRE,
Thanks
UTM, all that stuff. Thanks so much. Peace out. Carter Crawford, Lisa. You got Dom in the house. I'm just going to keep going until he cuts me off. Peace out.
Bye-bye, everyone.